Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and I've got a massive report that I want to share with you, and one in which you're going to want to listen to it in its entirety. There is a lot of things happening with the economy. The point drops, the stock market, the Dow, things have just been going crazy on a financial slide, just all over the place. And what I wanted to do today is bring on my financial expert, Bob Kudlow with Trade Genius Academy. He's got a lot of inside info. So, Bob, are you with me over there?
I am, Lisa. How are you? Happy New Year.
I'm doing good. Happy New Year to you too. I mean, we're hitting February, so we still got some time to go. But with speaking of the new year, a lot of things are going down. Let's just share real quick because I wanted to tell everybody. If you go to tradegeniusacademy.com, you get 50% off using the link below. But can you tell people the special that you have specifically for my channel, and then we're going to get into the financial tsunami, and you guys want to hold your hats on this one.
Yeah, so Lisa, for your audience, you've been very good with me for the last couple of years, and we've been growing fantastic. A lot of gratitude and gratefulness there. And so the way we're doing the special this time is that for the first 15 people who are listening to this broadcast that signs up to any of our specials, they can use the promo code Haven, and they'll get an additional 50% off of the prices that are listed on the site. That's at tradegeniusacademy.com. And we're limited to 15 people. We're trying to control our growth. Things are going really well, and we want to reward those people who are listening to you and listening to me, and take advantage of an incredible deal.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. And that is just for you guys listening on my channel. So the first 15 people that go to Trade Genius Academy to check out, and he's got this academy, teaches you how to work with everything in the market. So check it out. 15 people get an additional 50% off as well. So with that, let's get straight into details. Bob, what is going on in the markets right now? What's happening?
Yeah, so for the longest time, actually it started in January of 2016, Lisa. I think it was the Hillary Clinton coronation event where they put the markets on autopilot. They kept interest rates low, and then they did this thing called volatility suppression. I won't get into the jargon of it, but when you make a market look calm, people are allowed to take more risk. And they ran this thing to a point where an unprecedented amount of calmness was put into the market. And then about 10 days ago, that broke. And in December, they decided to start raising the interest rates up. And so both those things combined together pushed the market down 10%. But, as I tell people, if you ever watch a tsunami, it's the first wave isn't the wave that kills you. It's the second wave. So we had the reaction. Now we're getting a reaction where the market's starting to pull up a little bit. But the way risk management works in the stock market, Lisa, is that if interest rates are higher and volatility or calmness is lower, that risk managers around the world have to start taking less risk. That means they have to start selling stock. And the stock market, what they call fair value, based on these new interest rate numbers and these new calmness numbers, is about 30 to 40% overvalued. Now, this is tying into a lot of other things that are happening. I like President Trump. I am grateful that we don't have the other person in office, but he's set the market up expectations for 4% GDP growth, and now he's been in now for over a year, and GDP growth is actually starting to fall, Lisa. At the same time, we're getting higher inflation numbers. That's bad news. I'm old enough to remember the 70s, and that's when output fell, meaning that there's less things being sold. At the same time, companies' costs are going up, and that squeezes profits. So now that you have higher interest rates, you have less calmness, now you have less profit, less cash flow, and at the same time, healthcare costs are continuing to rise, and now we have food costs coming up. So we're having a perfect storm coming after us, all at the time where we're hitting all-time highs in the market. And as you can see, we lost 10% in 3 days. So, that was 6 weeks worth of gains in 3 days. You can wipe out 2 or 3 years worth of gains in a month. And I just been telling people, look, the going's good. You need to either shift into other assets or you need to probably pull back for some cash, because I don't know where this goes, because we're in an unprecedented environment, and the political environment is just, as you know, you report on it all the time, it's toxic. And now we're picking trade wars with Russia and China, and today we picked another one. So who knows where all this is going to end up? People need to be smart about how they're managing their finances. And what we tell people is that, the trade to be in is, get into some cash, but also gold and silver and the miners and cryptocurrencies are all good safe haven plays. And so that's what we've been telling people. As you know, we have the crypto side of our business too, and those signals have been just awesome. And the crypto market went up 80 to 100% since this crisis had begun. And what that tells me is that it's being viewed as a safe haven. Gold went up as well. And so that's telling us that people are looking to try to get out of the banking system. And, hallelujah to that, if that ever came to be. But people need to understand that you have an escape hatch and you don't have to play the bankers' games. And so that's what we're advising people. And as you know, we talked before, we have signals that we push out to people that can tell them, hey, this is indicating this is a good buy, or hey, this is indicating that you should probably sell. Our stock market signals are saying get out, get out, get out. Our crypto signals are saying get in, get in, get in. So, and gold and silver we may get pushed down a little bit here next week or two, but from April on, I think it's going to be run to all-time highs.
Now, that's the good thing. You teach a lot of this in your Trade Genius Academy website, which is one of the reasons I partner with you. Now, here's the thing. And why I have such a heart to bring you on and to inform the public. You're a financial expert, in my opinion. You've been dealing with this stuff for a very long time, the ins and outs of it. You've studied the economy, you know the economy, and I rely on you for a lot of that information. And here's the thing. We were talking kind of off air, but we've seen food prices go up, oil's gone up. I know I was in California the last weekend, it was way over $3, almost $4, I think, that when I had bought. But this is showing some instability. We just had bumps and turns all over the place. The 666 point drop there, that was interesting. But you said the trade war that's coming and inflation. What happens to someone who may not be prepared if something hits the fan?
Oh, well, you have to define not prepared. The first thing I always tell people is make sure you be in a community of like-minded people, number one, so that you can lean on each other, make sure that you guys can share different things together. Like for me, I'm prepared in a lot of ways, but one of my neighbors has like an overabundance of water. And he said, hey, don't worry about storing water. I have it for you. Can you take care of something else? So we're looking at to do things like that, number one. Number two is that, who knows exactly when this happens. I think some of this stuff's going to happen here pretty quickly, but I've always been preaching is, get out of the banker's game. Get rid of your debt as much as you can. Buy a little bit of silver as you can. Buy a little bit of cryptocurrency as you can. And if you're in a big city, and you can move out of there, I would move out of there and move into a smaller community where you have people that you can know and trust instead of being in an anonymous place. So, those are the macro things. For me, I owned a solar business for 10 years for the purpose of helping people put solar on their homes so that, we can withstand power interruptions. I truly believe, Lisa, and we don't know each other personally. I'm an extremely optimistic person. I've had success my whole life, but you always have to be prepared. The proverb of the ant and the grasshopper is burned into my brain, and I think people need to always be grinding their way towards making sure they have contingencies and are prepared, and you plan for the worst and you hope for the best and you live for today is kind of my philosophy on life.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, bad things have happened in the past, and a lot of people, we get so used to our bubble that we forget these things. You have Nazi Germany, you have under the Stalin regime, many people in huge starvation amounts. We've had natural disasters. That's a part of it. We've had multiple economic issues. If we don't have to look very far to look to Greece, to Venezuela, to these other countries that experience turmoil as a result of technically what's going on here in America. Not to mention, the instability. Now we've got the trade wars, as you mentioned. These are all things that we have to take into consideration. And the best thing to do is keep yourself ready under any and all circumstances. And I agree 100%. I'm the same way. And I'm with everyone else. It's step by step as you can do it. It's not all at once. I get it. We live in that kind of world, but definitely something. Well, do you have any closing thoughts for my viewers here today? Any last minute things that you want to share? And then share the specials again as well.
Yeah, I mean, for me is, be careful what when you're listening to the news, is you just kind of watch what they do, not so much what they say. They're preparing for this. A decision has been made. They're not going to allow a 1929 collapse to happen. They're gonna go for the inflation route. And so the good news there, I think it gives people time. The bad news is that it's insidious, and it's really, really, really hard to escape from if you're not prepared. So watch that. Gold, silver, cryptos are the thing to do. And then for us, for what we do, just to remind everybody, we're more than just an academy to teach people. We're actually traders. We've trading a long time. We trade actively, trade every day. And so we have trade signals. We have trading rooms. We have the training courses. And then we actually have software that we can make available to you to actually put onto your system so that you can actually see the buy and sell signals too, so that you can not only learn how to trade, be in a community, but also that you can also be independent as well if you're trading things that we don't trade, because the same signals work. It's based all on money flows and price and volume, so it works across all assets. So that's TradeGeniusAcademy.com, but we're absolutely limiting the offer to 15 people, Lisa, but the offer is extremely good, and it's a reward for you supporting what we do here at Trade Genius. So thank you.
Awesome. And it's using the code Haven, and it's 50% off the already 50% off, correct?
That's right.
Awesome. So make sure you guys check that out. If you've been on the fence about it, now is the time to do it and be one of those first 15. And if you don't make it into the 15, there still is the 50% off. So make sure you check that out as well. And make sure you're set right in the coming economic turmoil, wherever that lies. And like I've been saying for some time, it's not a matter of if it will happen, it's a matter of when and what exactly will play out. We already know what happened in 2007 and 2008 and that 2000 turmoil, but I do foresee more ahead. Do you as well?
Absolutely. I mean, we've been very, very fortunate, and I look at California where I live, and my expectation is, we're way overdue for a major earthquake, and people are not ready for it. So, and that's just one of many types of calamities that I think are in front of us in the next year or two.
Absolutely. And just be ready for that financial tsunami. And don't forget to check out all the information in the links below. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, and that was Bob Kudlow with Trade Genius Academy signing out.